Hey there, welcome back, or welcome if it's your very first time. As you know, or you don't know, on this channel we talk about how in life it's not only me and it's not only you, isn't that cute? But life's ups and downs are universal. So today I thought we could talk about dating and marriage. Dating and marriage. Two very exciting topics, depending on which side of it you're on. You know how with the advice should be different, unfortunately, or fortunately, for whichever scenario you find yourself in. Sometimes the advice that you would give to somebody that's dating on a particular situation versus the advice that you would give to somebody that's married on a particular situation is not the same. And that is because the stakes are very different. Very, very different. And I would like to dive into that. You know, there are things that somebody can do when you're dating that it makes perfect sense to walk away. And then there's something that someone can do in a marriage, and it is not necessarily the same in terms of your decision to walk away. Why? Marriage and dating are different in terms of the weight, right? So even physically, if you want to look at this like this, right? Dating, the weight, if dating were a dumbbell, right? Dating could be 10 pounds, a 10-pound dumbbell. Marriage, on the other hand, is more closer to a 50 to 60 pound dumbbell. I'm just in comparison, right? Now you got the 25 pound, right? That might be engagement. That might be engagement where it's like, all right, would I walk away if we were dating? Yes. But if we're engaged, so okay. But marriage, it might be like, okay, well, all right. Give me some time and I'll talk to you in a minute. You know, it's very different because each one of these represent different levels of mutual commitment, right? Each one of these represent different gradients of commitment on both parties. Now, unfortunately, with dating, one person could be more committed than the other. And that creates an imbalance. And that also creates an opportunity for someone to be hurt because the actions are not reciprocated. Or maybe the actions are all on one person. If I don't do this, then we don't get together. We don't go spend time together. We don't talk on the phone. We don't have any new experiences if I don't do X, Y, and Z. And that can be a lot to shoulder. Going into that level of engagement where there is more of typically a balancing out of that. Some women will not do as much for a boyfriend as they will do for a fiance. And same as it should be, some women won't do as much for their fiance as they will do for their husband. And similarly on a male's part, right? He might not do certain things for a girlfriend. He might not be as concerned or as protective of a girlfriend. But a fiance, there might be a different level of commitment and protection and intention there. And then going forward to being a wife, when someone is his wife, there are also different levels of intentionality there. But what I will caution is that in a marriage, there are things that occur in certain stages that can appear to leave or appear to be non-existent. And that's where it's important to caution people going into marriage, the power and the importance of communication. Because you can look at it just like you would look at a job, right? So you polished your resume. You were You were the ideal candidate. You were hounding people. You was emailing, calling people, talking to people. I would love to work here. I want to work, blah, blah, blah. You doing all of this, right? You get the interview. Maybe we'll say the interview is similar to engagement. You get the interviews, you go through the interviews, you're polished, and you get the job, right? They call it the honeymoon phase. You just started. You like, oh, I'm so excited to work here. You're talking to people in the break room and you're smiling and then a couple years go by in that job, right? Are you excited? You complaining? Other jobs looking shinier and more appealing. And then you get to the point where you care less about that job. You don't want that job. That job's been giving you a steady paycheck, and maybe they shouted you out in a couple emails, or couple work anniversaries, and you're like, this is just getting old. In that instance, right? Can you understand similarly how there are things that a job or a work environment can do to keep you excited, to keep you engaged, even you yourself, keep that appreciation for that thing that you wanted so desperately. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street, but the commitment level is different in marriage. Now, for some people, their goal is not to be married at all. That's not their goal. So they're like, that's not important to me. But if it is your goal to be married and remain married, it's important to understand what plays a part in one's satisfaction in marriage. And it doesn't only fall on you as an individual, right? There's only so much mindset work you can do to be happy and content or excited or happy. I said happy or fulfilled, right? In a marriage. There's only so much you can do independently. It's typically a mutual endeavor, right? There's something that multiple parties need to do to ensure that both. I don't know what other, that both are satisfied, that both are happy in this marriage. So I wanted to give you that example of the role of the job, because that's really a very close aligned comparison in terms of the willingness to invest yourself heavily into acquiring something, right? Just like a man will do. When a man wants to pursue you for dating, he will. When a man when he's thought it through, he's evaluated your character, the way how you perceive him, the way how you carry yourself, and he makes a decision to purchase a ring to put on your finger to say, hey, my intention is to marry you, not my verbal intention. I'm showing you my intention with action. My intention is to marry you. And then when you both walk to that altar, right? And you look each other in the eyes before your families and before your God, and you say, I commit myself to you, and I will love you through any experience that you go through in life, and I will be there for you. Those are strong words. That's a strong commitment. That is different. That's why I said it's different from, I would like to date you. I want to date you and you want to date me, and we want to go out to eat and go places and talk about life. And it's like, okay. And so it's a difference. There's a difference in the level of commitment, but I just want to encourage those that are dating, engaged, and married to know the stage that you're at. That will help you with evaluating different situations, how to respond, how to interpret or how to process someone else's response or behavior, understanding the gravity of someone's actions or demonstration of love, understanding that for the point that you're at. because that truly makes a big difference. I wouldn't be so harsh on someone that, let's say, for example, you're dating and they can't really remember, like, oh, I think your birthday is, and you very well might be like, oh, you don't remember? We done. And it's like, come on. Okay, hold on. Hey, calm down. Calm yourself down. Let's really think about the stage that we're at. All right. Let's really evaluate. Or someone does not do something the way that you would like them to do it. You got to keep in mind, what stage are you at? What conversations have you had? What experiences have you had? What experience has he had? Has she had? Really taking inventory of what it is that you want and where someone's at. Really in life and in dating and in engagement and in marriage, being understanding, not being walked over, but being understanding will get you so much farther. And silence is truly an ally of yours, because we say things that we cannot take back. You can't unhear what someone said to you. It is not possible. And some would say, especially for women, right? I can't unsay something that I said that cut you. I can't unsay it. You can't unsay something that cut me, or that made me look at you differently, or that made me different in our interaction. It can't be taken back. But what we can do is be silent. If you are unsure of how to say something, or if you are aware, maybe if you're unaware, but you got a little inkling that there's something that you can say to dig at someone, or to shut a conversation down, or to win an argument, I urge you to pause. I urge you to pause. There are situations that could have been so beautiful, but somebody talks too much. Could have been a beautiful situation, but you talk too much. And as someone is evaluating, engaging, and making decisions on taking something to the next stage or the next level, certain things are going to play back in their mind. And they might not decide to go forward because someone talks too much. This is just my advice. If we can come from a place of being more understanding, not that we accept poor conditions, not that we accept deplorable communication or treatment, but that we open up our minds to understand that just like I might say something to someone that they could really be like, how could you say that to me? And I maybe not be fully aware of the impact of it. They can also do something or say something that in a moment could have an impact that if they had to do over, they wouldn't do it like that. And now that they understand, they just might not have had the understanding. That's why I'm saying the key part in getting the result that you want to get is being more understanding and sometimes being silent. That's it. That's the journey to attaining something that you desire so greatly. Because oftentimes you might look back at a situation that you were in or a relationship that you were in, and the thing that maybe caused it to end, more mature you, wiser you, older you, is like, that actually wasn't that bad. These things that I'm seeing that don't exist in people, she had or he had, right? And you might be able to say, that actually wasn't that bad. We probably could have went on to be something beautiful. That wasn't that bad. But younger you, maybe having the wrong friends giving you advice, you picky you, picky you that might have been trying to recreate a relationship that you've seen somewhere that could very well be just somebody showing you the best parts and maybe not the real parts. That version of you might have missed out on something. And sometimes stuff doesn't come back around. Sometimes when stuff is over, it's over. When it's gone, it's gone. But you move differently going forward. You make an adjustment. I will say this. Today, I was driving and my husband and I, we were talking about how things can happen, right? And if you have no awareness to it, it can get you. And the very simple minor thing that we were talking about is you're on the highway, right? And there are oftentimes these trucks, whether they moving rocks, hauling landscape debris, whatever. People drive very close behind them. And you might be wondering, what does that matter? If you have never had a cracked windshield, if you've never gotten your windshield cracked from one of those trucks that's hauling stuff, that a rock flew off, they hit a pothole and a rock jumped off and cracked your windshield, you won't know to stay back or change lanes. Do not drive behind that. Do not drive behind them. But you had to have had that experience. Sometimes you will have to be in a relationship and get your windshield cracked to now realize going forward, oh, I shouldn't say that. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh, he's making an effort. I should show that I appreciate that effort. But you won't have that awareness until you have that impact, that loss, that lesson. You're not going to have that type of awareness. So what I'm saying is, even though there were experiences or relationships that you had that did not end the way you wanted them to, and looking back, it probably could have continued. There probably just needed to be some conversations that were had. Similarly, you gained some experience that a lot of other people driving around on this highway do not have. So that's valuable. I want to encourage you. Your experience that you gathered is valuable. You just need to now move with the understanding, drive with the awareness and the understanding. So I hope this makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna close it now. But I see you. Whatever stage you're at, I see you, and just understand and speak accordingly, or not at all, because we can really shape our tomorrow. And we can shape who our tomorrow includes or doesn't include by the way that we move. So in this romantic highway, drive accordingly. Drive accordingly. Drive accordingly. That's my advice to you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much for watching. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you in the number. Leave a comment if you got anything. You can put like a steering wheel or a car or a heart. Whatever emoji speaks to you, you can drop that down below. And sunshine, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.